How's it going, everybody? It's me, Shane. I'm here to give you the first review for The Last of Us, the television show on HBOMax. So, before I go any further, please do not forget to hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, be notified of more videos just like this one. And episode 1 is entitled, When You're Lost in the Darkness. So, Last of Us. What's Last of Us? You guys know what Last of Us is, don't you? Well, you probably... For those of you who are the uninitiated and don't play video games and didn't own a PlayStation 3, or was it PlayStation 4? I think it was PlayStation 4, wasn't it? I'm trying to remember the timeline for when certain consoles came out. When I say it was PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4, because The Last of Us has been remade twice. So, PlayStation exclusive. Made by NaughtyDog, same guys that brought us Crash Bandicoot, even though they don't do Crash Bandicoot anymore. They only do gritty, not reboots, but gritty, realistic things now. AAA game. Rightfully so, given the title of best game. Probably was given Game of the Year in 2013 when it came out. Has a sequel. I didn't play it, but I followed along. We have streams, right? I followed along. I followed the story. Not as good as the first one, but I gave them credit. They have great accessibility for people in that second game. Really, really good access for the sight impaired. It's really good game. Anyway, there's some changes, some race swaps. Or should I say race changes, date changes, and a lot of this is kind of minor for the most part. I'll start with the first change. Let's talk about Joel, Tommy, Sarah. You know, the brothers and the daughter of Joel. Well, Sarah's black, so there's that. And Joel is played by Pedro Pascal, who is not a white guy. So Pedro and his brother is Gabriel Luna. I did not recognize him until I was doing my notes for this. He played the guy. He played Ghost Rider in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's been in other stuff, but he's a decent actor. I like him as Tommy. I like him as Tommy a lot. So there you have technically his daughter is half black, half whatever Latino, Hispanic that Pedro Pascal is. And that was the changes. Funny, some anecdotal things here. I'm in several Facebook groups, for better or for worse. And one of the first, well, probably the second or third one I ever joined when Facebook did groups was a space for African Americans for games, movies, comics, and stuff like that. We deserve our own space. And someone in that group called it woke that Sarah was term black, and I think it showed that you have never either played the game or even paid attention to any cutscenes or know anything about the game. He's mad that a black woman is casted to play a role in a black group. Mad that a black woman is cast to be in a role of a minor character. Yeah, Sarah is very much the inspiration behind all of Joel's actions, but you don't see her the whole game. Matter of fact, I'm guessing the guy thought that Ellie was supposed to be Sarah. But again, it shows you how much people pay attention, and everybody, even skin folk are not kinfolk, but yeah, even people who are supposed to be paying attention and be in favor of some of these things, just egregious. Apparently, people are upset about the young lady that's playing Ellie. I wish I can remember her name. It's Bella Ramsey. She kind of looks like the voice actress that plays Ellie. Ashley Jenkins. She actually does look like her. Ashley Johnson, sorry. But whatever. The one change. The other change is the time change. So the infection in the games started in 2013, and then you got 20 years later, it's 2033, which some people I guess were like, oh, it's not futuristic looking enough. 2023 looks the same as 2015. That slightly looks the same as 2013. So I don't know what to tell you, but now it's 2003 is when it all started, and now they made it for modern times. I guess they were trying to do the same correlation, saying, hey, this is when the outbreak happened, but that doesn't make sense because the outbreak happened in 2013. The game's when the actual game came out. You get what I'm saying? I don't understand the need of the time change because I forgot. I meant to do a little bit of more research, but technology in 10 years is very different. Like the technology in 03 is different than the technology in 2013 by far. So, I mean, that's a bit of a nitpick. I know one of my nitpicks was, how do they still have gas? Like, who is getting petroleum oil to fill these cars? Unless there was so much of a surplus in 2003 that in 20 years, you still got gas. I don't know. That's the time change. Funny enough, Marlene's actor is actually played by her voice actor from the game. We have enough time to introduce a bunch of new characters that I don't really care about introducing. The soldier guy, Kim, who works with Marlene, the neighbors from the not flashback, which I like. I like that, since this is games and movies and shows, all completely different mediums, right? And comic books and novels and books and things like that. They did a great job of establishing things early, so now you have an emotional connection to Joel without having to play hours and hours and go, oh man, I really like this guy. You can tell he's going through something. As a matter of fact, talking about changes, instead of Sarah getting shot like in the game, she died from shrapnel because of an explosion. And Tommy took out the military person, who was told to basically kill both Joel and Sarah. The one thing I like about this first episode, while it did feel long, knowing knowing things are gonna go south. For those of you who have not played the game, I'm just gonna let you know. You like The Walking Dead? Do you? Yeah, things are gonna go shit. And sometimes they go shit really fast, and then you slow down, you get some good moments, and then they're going to go to shit again. It's going to be a roller coaster. And even though I knew it was going to happen, they actually got me to cry. It was only the opener is just 30 minutes, which is great. Actually, technically 28 minutes and 23 seconds, but 30 minutes, right? Got me to cry because we sat here and we watched how much Sarah cares for her father, how much obviously her father, single father, cares for her. All this in Austin, Texas. The just the ominous feeling of we don't know, we don't hear what's going on. Like you see, they hear on the radio something's going down, and I think a country in South America, which is kind of where the virus actually started in the games. And by the way, there's no pollen in this one because it's all spores and stuff, and people have to put on masks. I'm going to guess that they don't have it by spores because you can't have all the actors always wearing masks. It's not like they're Iron Man or something like that. You can't always have them in masks, so why waste? I mean, technically Pedro Pascal has also played the Mandalorian, who for literally the entirety of the first season, save for last 2 episodes, he had his mask on the entire time, which is pretty cool because that's in with the lore. But I digress. Also, Judge Dredd, you can get away with certain times with that, but I'm okay with the spread being something different. I got notes here. I got to pull my notes up too. I'm sorry, everybody. All right, here we go. So that's a difference, and just that ominous feeling of like seeing Nana, knowing Nana you're assuming that Nana cannot move and do things on her own, and then you just see her behind the girl just twitching and moving. The shop, the watch keeper, his wife going, "We're closing down. Sorry, he can't fix your watch. I'm already done. All right, you need to go home now. We're gonna shut all this down." But then you also get Joel, I believe, is a Marine veteran. So you also get a little bit of how ruthless Joel can be, especially when it comes to protecting his own. They are establishing that first episode when they're driving, trying to get away from the suburbs, the city, just get away, period. And you see there's a family whose car is broken down. They have a baby. And Tommy's like, hey, they got a kid. Even Sarah's like, they can get him back. He's like, we got a kid too. No, keep going. Someone else will get them. That is something important to keep in mind. Because while Joel is not the squeakiest of cleanest of people, especially in the game, you feel for him. Like, if you're a single father, the only connection to the woman that you love is here. What, you got your brother, you got your kid. What else are you going to do? And you're mostly thinking about your kid. And really good cinematography when, so it's Joel's birthday. He leaves out in the middle of the night to go get his brother out of jail. Because again, that ominous feels like this guy was going crazy and start throwing punches at me, and I hit him, but you just gotta help me. And they pull up in enough time to save Sarah, thunks grandma in the head with the wrench. Such a good feel. I hate to take this opportunity to complain about something. Why are the Resident Evil movies half as good as this? Like, just this looking at how this outbreak started alone. I was just thinking the whole time, like, man, this is almost some Raccoon City shit. Almost. Why the Netflix garbage, and they did the reboot movie that smushed two games together, and just, this is how you do video game adaptations, y'all, especially for episodic format. This is really, really good. The opening before the part of the 30 minutes was a 1968 2 epidemiologist, and I knew I recognized the main one that speaks, who is John Hannon from The Mummy. You reckon he's the brother? I knew I recognized him. And guy in Peacemaker, Christopher Heyerdahl. I could not tell you who he played in there because I have not had the opportunity to watch Peacemaker yet. Do expect that one up in this year, though. I will do that one before DC does its hard reset. And the person playing the TV host was Silicon Valley's Josh Brenner. That was a great way of setting the tone. Especially if you don't know a damn thing about The Last of Us. You're going like, oh, they're giving me hints about what's going to happen. And if you're a person who have played The Last of Us, watched The Last of Us, read the comic books, watch the Twitch or the Let's Plays, and you see that and you're like, oh, yeah, I already know. But just the ominous feeling and the weight behind John Hannon's character's words, where the one guy's like, oh, a pandemic and it could be bad, but humanity will prevent. Dude, he's kind of a smart ass saying yes and no, and he likes to say no, but explaining fungal infection would wipe us all out. Explaining the fungi that takes over the minds of ants, and what it does is they got to eat, right? So they eat the ants, but do you know what else is made from fungi? Penicillin. So that's how they keep them alive, with the sole purpose of infecting more things. Imagine something on a global scale doing that to humans, and just the main thing is to affect people. And he says, so what would happen? And he's like, we would lose. And then 2003, and then 2023. Thank goodness that there is no... Oh, wait. Global pandemics and epidemics. Is life imitating art or art imitating life? You be the judge of that. Are there any other changes? Outside of Joel has been in constant contact with Tommy, period. As a matter of fact, his reason for him and Tess leaving, instead of to go get a cachet that was taken from them, they're going to go, he's like, I got to find my brother. He doesn't take longer than a day to let me know what's going on. I got to go get my brother. And now he has to take Ellie to get his brother. Well, take Ellie to where she needs to go in order to get, what am I getting? In order to get a battery and things to go get Tommy. And apparently he is also in contact with Bill as well, when Bill was actually an acquaintance of his that he kind of, I don't want to say they had a falling out, but they lost contact, they lost touch. They are steadily establishing and keeping, like, these are decent changes. This isn't anything that's going to ruin anything. Granted, they're in the literal apocalypse right now, so tensions are going to be high. Tensions are going to be stressed, but I like that bit of PTSD at the end where they're caught by a guy who Joel sold pills to. And he's like, come on, man, look the other way. You get your pill. I'll give you stuff for free. I'll give you stuff half off. Fine, for free, blah, blah, blah. And they have to do checks. And the interjection for the check is green, you're good. Red, you're dead. Because we had a kid that came in to the quarantine zone. And the quarantine, and you see red. I'm thinking, oh, maybe red means negative. I thought red is bad. They give him a little shot, and they say, you can have all the toys and stuff. What? No, he was killed. Because they end up burning the bodies, and there was a woman that's like, I'm not putting the kid's body in the fire, and Joel does it. Which is the ruthlessness of the Fedra. Federal? I wrote it down in my other notes. I believe Fedra stands for Federal Disaster Response Agency. They're opposed by the Fireflies. You should know who the Fireflies are if you played the game. So, if when you try, when you're lost in the darkness, look for the light. And where am I at here? And Ellie, this whole pocket knife thing. If you haven't watched the episode, watch the episode. You know what I mean by the pocket knife. But Ellie knows that she's going to test red. She knows she's going to test red, so she attacks the guy. And the guy's getting ready to shoot her because you won't get down on your knees and everything else. Joe flashes back to what happened with Sarah. I'm pretty sure the guy's dead. That's more than 5 punches. I'm pretty sure the guy's dead. If he's not dead, he gonna have a really bad looking face. But dude's dead. Took his gun and they skedaddled. You get the clicker roar on top of the building at the end. Whew. Why can't Resident Evil be like this? But yes, decent world building. We hear about where people getting pills, how pills getting made. Where did you get this from? Atlanta. Apparently the only thing Atlanta does is make pills and make bullets. And Joel said, I guess the more people you kill, the more pills you need to take. I guess this is kind of a warning against global warming in a way as well, because the epidemiologist in the very beginning said, fungi can't, if fungi can't survive in temperatures above 94 degrees, but what if the world got hotter and then blah, 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 blah. And yeah. Lots of tiny messages throughout this episode. And I'm looking very much forward to seeing what other changes happen. I do hope they change a lot that happened in The Last of Us 2. They're going to do The Last of Us 2, which I guess by the time this first season is over, if this first season ends in the middle of the game and they're going to do season 2, they're definitely going to do a Last of Us 3 video game. There's no way they're not going to. Another change. Tess and Joel's relationship is a lot less ambiguous. They are together. She holds him when she gets back in for getting her face beaten. And Joel is gonna, Joel's like, I'm gonna kick the ass of the guy who did this. And thus there is our plot. Where else? Yeah, no. Everything else is still basically the same. Prepare to be sad. Like, this I hate to sound like an a-hole, but this is giving me The Walking Dead early seasons. Like, I was heavily watching that show in the first 4 seasons, and then I stopped when a particular character died. But man, this is really, really, really good. Bella, people are complaining about Bella. I guess they complain about how she looks. Whatever. I don't give a damn. She acts like Ellie. She sounds like Ellie. She has Ellie's potty mouth. She has Ellie's quick attention to detail. And because what they do on the radios for signals, 60 songs, there's nothing to report. 70 song new stock. 80s, she couldn't figure out what it was, and so she lied to Joel and told him, "Oh yeah, Wake Me Up Before You Go Go was playing." He's like, "Shit, 80s songs mean bad stuff. Is things are going bad. It's bad." And the 80s song that played at the end of this episode back at Joel's place was Depeche Mode's "Never Let Me Down," which the lyrics are a little bit ominous. Matter of fact, if I can pull up some of those lyrics real quick. "I'm taking a ride with my best friend. I hope he never lets me down again. He knows where he's taking me where I want to be. I'm taking a ride with my best friend." For those of you who knows how The Last of Us Part 1 ended, this is super, super ominous. Man, I'm looking forward to next week. So this, especially right now as an adaptation, is doing a really good job. Neil Druckmann, as much as I don't particularly care for Neil Druckmann, he is an executive producer on this, so he's aiding them. I'm hearing more good things about this than Halo, the Halo show. I refuse to watch the Halo show. I actually watched Angry Joe Show's reviews on that, and then I skimmed other people's written reviews. I was like, okay, I'm good to skip that. Unless you all think that's something you want to know my honest opinion on, I don't plan on going to watch that. But this is really good. This first episode is getting a 5 out of 5 for me. You set the bar, you set the standard, so you better keep it there or sometimes raise above it. As long as you keep it there, this is a 5 out of 5. I cannot, if it stays like this, I can't see this going wrong. Let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. Do not forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Be notified of more videos just like this. I'm going to get these every week. Hit the bell. You'll be notified as soon as they come up. So everyone, I thank you for taking time out to listen to me talk about this game. That's about a game. No, talk about the show. That's about a game. Haha. As always, guys, be good, be blessed, wash those hands, take care of yourselves, be good to others, and be good to yourself all the way it goes. Please don't be a jerk. There's someone out there who would rather talk to you today than mourn you tomorrow. You are not alone. You're never alone. If you want somebody to talk to, my social medias are right in that description. So click on it, follow me, hit me up. All right? All right. So this is Shane, and I will most definitely see you guys next time.